we are going to discuss about tertiary and quaternary activities. That is chapter number 7 of class 12, the fundamentals of human geography. So here, first thing is we are going to discuss about the tertiary related activities, and later on we are going to discuss about the quaternary and quinary activities. So first thing is we need to know the meaning of tertiary activities. So in simple words, we can say tertiary activities are all the service related activities are called tertiary activities. Example, driver, lawyer, teacher, doctor, and plumber. So in this chapter, we are from tertiary activities, we are going to discuss about the following topics. So following are the types of tertiary activities that we are going to discuss right now. So first one is trade and commerce, second one transport, third one communication, and other services. So here we need to know what is meant by trade or what is meant by commerce. Same. So trade means what, or commerce means what? Trade means buying and selling of goods and services. It is called trade. So generally where trade takes place, so generally trade takes place trading centers, or in short we can say trading centers are also called market. So markets are also called collection and distribution point. So if we go to the market, we are going to buy different goods from different shops. So first, all the shops, they are collecting the required items from different wholesalers, and later on they are selling to us. So it is acting like collection and distribution point. It is so trading centers are called market. Markets are also called collection and distribution point. So in trading center where buying and selling of goods and services takes place, that usually in towns and cities we have many number of shops. So these are called trading centers. So from trading center, they have divided into two: urban trading centers and rural trading centers. So following are the some of the general characteristics of urban rural trading centers. So rural trading center means when the buying and selling of goods and services takes place in villages or in rural areas of the world, it is called rural trading center. Some rural trading centers, it has currently urban characteristics or semi-urban characteristics. So these urban center, semi-urban center, they caters goods and services to the nearby rural areas or the villages. So generally in rural trading centers, they offers rudimentary types of, they are selling rudimentary types of goods. They are selling rudimentary types of goods for the needs of rural people. So they are selling rudimentary or basic goods to the rural people in order to fulfill the needs of rural villagers in their daily life. So as compared to urban trading center, rural trading center, they are selling basic goods for the needs of rural people. So as compared to urban trading center, rural trading centers are personal as well as professional services are not well developed as compared to urban trading centers. In rural trading centers, we have wholesalers as well as retailers. So wholesalers are generally we can say it is a mandis. But in some rural areas of the world, in some rural areas where there is no regular markets, no fixed market, no fixed shops. So in these regions, they are organizing a periodic market in order to fulfill the needs of rural people. So these periodic markets are organized weekly or bi-weekly or maybe monthly. So these periodic markets are organizing in the rural areas of the world where there is no any fixed shop or proper shops or regular shops. So in such rural area, some people are organizing, they are offering, giving periodic market services. So these are some of the characteristics of rural trading center. So as compared to the rural trading center, so this particular picture just tries to show the characteristics of rural trading center. So generally in rural trading center, they don't have any proper shops or stores. They are selling, and they don't have these in general. In the rural trading center, they are not much organized as compared to urban trading center. So this particular picture tries to explain some of the general characteristics of rural trading centers of the world. So as compared to rural trading center, so following are some of the general characteristics or features of the urban trading center or marketing centers. So as compared to rural trading center, urban trading center, they have a proper stores or they have a proper shops. They have proper stores and shops for what? Buying and selling of goods and items for the people living in urban areas or in towns and cities. So as compared to rural trading center, urban trading center provides better services for the buying and selling of goods to the urban people as compared to rural. As compared to rural trading center, urban trading center, it has more specialized goods and services along with general or basic goods and services. So we know that in rural trading center, they are just selling basic goods and they are providing basic services to the rural people. But in urban trading center, they are providing basic goods and services, as well as on top of that, they are also providing some of the specialized goods and services also along with the basic goods and services. So this is about the types of rural trading centers. So trading center is divided into two, rural and urban. So types of trading services. So we all are buying goods, and we all are buying goods, different types of commodities, different types of goods, items from the shops, from different shops and different places and different cities and towns. So how we are getting these goods from the shops means with help of two main services. So we are getting all the goods in our hand with help of two main services. First one is the industry. They will produce or they will manufacture a particular goods, and it will, and these companies, they will sell these goods to the wholesalers. So generally wholesaler will buy goods in a bulk means many. They will buy huge amount from the companies, manufacturers, and under the wholesaler, from wholesaler, retailers or shopkeepers, they are buying goods from whom? Generally they are buying from the wholesalers. So we are getting, and we are buying goods from where means generally 90% we are buying goods from where? Shops. So this is how we are getting the services. So retail trading services. So in this commercial activities, goods are directly sold to the consumer. So retail trading services means we can say shops are the retail trading services. So if we talk about India, in every product of a particular company, we have MRP. So MRP stands for what? Maximum retail price. Maximum retail price means final price of a particular commodity. That finally we are getting goods from where? Retailers. Retailers means shops. So actually by law, they are the retailers, they are not allowed to sell above the MRP. So MRP is the final price for the product, by deducting all the intermediate profits from retailer as well as from wholesalers and from company itself. So retailers selling goods for whom? Consumers. So we all are consumers. Retail trading center traders, generally they are buying goods from where? Wholesalers. So some of the characteristic retail trading services are, or features are, most of the retail trading services take place in fixed establishment or stores or shops. So generally almost all the shops in the world are fixed. So they are fixed on a one place. So these shops are meant for what? Sales goods to the consumer directly. Some retail trading services such as street peddling, hand cart, door-to-door services, truck, internet are the sum of the what? Non-store retail sellings. So in the picture we have two sellers. They are selling goods to consumers. So if you look at these two pictures, they don't have a proper shops. They don't have any proper shops. That means they are included under non-store retail sellers. So these are also called retailer because they are selling goods directly to the consumer, but they don't have shops. So street peddling, hand cart, door-to-door, truck, internet are the some of the non-store retail sellers. Again, this one, hand cart. Wholesale trading services. So wholesalers, they are purchasing goods from what? Supply companies or company agencies, and they will sell goods to whom? Retailers in bulk. So characteristics are wholesalers purchasing goods from supply companies, or they are directly buying from the companies. Some wholesalers, they are providing credit to the retail stores in order to operate on a large scale. So in the world, some of the retailers, they are giving goods to the retailers in an advance without taking any money in advance. But after selling the goods by the retailers, they will get money, and they will give money to the wholesalers. So that means by giving credit to the retailer means they are doing their business on a large scale. And big stores and chain stores purchase goods directly from whom? Manufacturers. So in India we have lots of chain stores and big stores. So if we go to these stores and if we buy the goods from these stores, they are selling goods below the MRP. That means these stores, they are acting as a wholesaler as well as retailers. That means they are earning, they are acting like a wholesaler as well as retailer. So that means they are buying directly from the consumer, from the manufacturers, and they are selling to the consumers. So they don't have any, and they are not buying from goods from where? They are not buying goods from wholesalers. So we already finished the trade and commerce. So we discussed about the trading center 2 types and trading services 2 types. Next topic that we are going to cover up here is transport. So transport is a facility or services. With all of these facility services, we can transport goods and passengers from one place to another places. So generally, transport distance can be measured in terms of 3. Kilometer is the actual distance from place A to place B, point A to point B. So again, transport distance is also measured in terms of time distance, how many times it takes to point A to B, and the cost distance by bus, taxi and train. The cost will differ if we travel by bus, taxi, train and air. So these are the some of the 3 factors that we can measure the transport distance. So these are the 3 parameters that we can measure the transport distance. Factors affecting the transport services. So generally, the transport services are purely affected by the demand of the transport. So demand of the transport is affected by size of population. If the size of population is more, means the demand for the transport facility or service will be more. And if the demand is more, means in that particular we will get more transport facilities. So that one is the demand of transport is purely mainly based on what? Size of population. And another words, we can say size of population as well as economy also, but economy is not mentioned in our textbook. So they have only mentioned about the size of population. So demand of the transport is mainly affected by transport size of population based on our textbook. Route means in the world, route means we can say roadways are called routes. So roadways are called routes. Railways are called routes. So routes are dependent on what? Location of towns, cities, industry, and sports. So if we talk about the roadways and railways in the world, so most of the roadways and railways in the world are constructed in order to connect the big towns, cities, industries, and ports. So if we talk about example, in India we have Golden Quadrilateral Highway of India. This particular highway is constructed in order to connect the 4 metropolitan cities of India. So the route is purely dependent on the location of these factors: towns, location of towns, cities, ports. Next, nature of landscape. Again, the route is dependent on nature of landscape. If we have a mountain, means the route will be different as compared to plain areas. And fund availability to overcome the obstacle along with the length of the route. That means, suppose if a particular government has is a rich, so if suppose we have a one lake in order to connect one city to another city, but if we have if a particular government is rich, then that government may construct bridge over the that particular lake. Or if you talk about one big mountain in between 2 cities, so if a particular country is rich, that particular country may make a tunnel. So these are some of the factors that affect the routes, location of the routes. So third topic that we are going to discuss is communication. Communication is again a facility, or again it is a service. With help of these facilities or services, we can send messages, ideas, words, facts from one places to another places. So that is called transport, communication. Next one is, in ancient days, all the form of transport are refers to as a line of communication. So in olden days, means and mode of communication is totally dependent on means and modes of transport. So in geography, in order to, in spatial information technology, or we can say in GIS, the maps are made up of 3 main entities. They are point, line, and area. So area means mostly the boundaries of states and countries are made up of polygons. And in order to make the rivers, roadways, and railways, we are using line. And in order to locate the towns and city, we are using point. So these are the 3 main entities that we are using in order to, in cartography, in order to make map. So here the roadway means what? Line. So in olden days, the communication is totally dependent on the means or mode of roadways. That means they are going through a line. So that means in ancient days, communication is totally dependent on what? Roadways. Therefore, they are, in ancient days, communications are also called line of communication. But with the development of satellite, the communication has become independent from the means and mode of transport. So in ancient days, if we have better transport, means we have better communications facilities, or speedy transport communication facilities. That is the line of communication. Then services occur at different levels. For example, gardener, launderer, plumber, and barber do primarily they are doing physical services. Other than that, lawyers, teachers, doctors, musicians, they are doing what? Mental services. And in some services are categorized and unorganized, or informal, or non-formal services, such as Mumbai's dabbawala or Tiffin. It is an example of what? Unorganized or informal service in India. So this one is the most important part of our chapter, that is chapter number 7, selected examples of tertiary activities. So we already discussed about the different types of tertiary activities. So among the tertiary activities in our textbook, they have given more emphasis on what? One services, that is called tourism. So they have given more emphasis, or they have explained more on what? Tourism. So first thing is we need to know the meaning of tourism. Tourism means what? Travel undertaking for the purpose of recreation rather than business. So tourism means purpose, that if a particular person move from one place to another place mainly for recreation purpose, not for business, that is called tourism. So what are the importances, or what are the significances of tourism in the world? So among the tertiary services, tourism is the single largest tertiary activity. So among the tertiary activities, tourism is the single largest tertiary activity. Among the tertiary activities, tourism is the single largest tertiary activities. So how we can say that? Means in the world, more than 250 million registered jobs are engaged in people's jobs are related with tourism, and it contributes 40% of GDP in tertiary sector from the service sector. So that is the one reason for the importance or the significances of tourism. The second one is tourism, it also promotes the growth of infrastructure. Infrastructure means we can say roadways, electricity, water supplies, and other related facilities. So with the help of tourism, it will also promote the infrastructure of a destination place. It also promotes retail trading services, means we can say shops which are selling tourism related articles or items, and it also promote the craft. So generally people used to buy different unique or exotic goods from the place of destination. So medical tourism. So medical tourism is the new trend in the field of tourism. So what is meant by medical tourism? When the medical treatment is combined with tourism, it is called as medical tourism. So if a particular person travel from one country to another, so he is traveling for two main reasons. First one is for medical treatment to that particular country, and on top of that, after the medical treatment, he or she will travel to that particular country. So that is called medical tourism. For example, many people from developed countries like, so developed country we can say European countries and North American countries, they are coming to some countries like India, Malaysia, Singapore. Why they are coming to these countries for medical treatment? Means, so countries like India, Malaysia, and Singapore, in this country we have a very good medical facilities, infrastructure, and medical professions. So these countries, they almost have a same medical facilities as developed countries. But if we talk about the cost of the medical treatment is much lower in these countries. So generally those people from developed country, they are coming to these countries for medical treatment, and on above that, the remaining money they will go to recreation purposes in these countries. So that is called medical tourism. So why people are coming, many people from developed country, they are coming for medical treatment in India, Malaysia, and Singapore? Because of less cost and what? World-class hospital in these countries. Some examples of tourist region and areas. Warm places around Mediterranean region. So we have here one first photo that shows the Mediterranean Sea and winter sport region in mountainous and scenic, and we can say west coast of India. We have many beaches. So leave that one. So far we discussed about the tertiary activities. So tertiary activity, we discuss about the four main part: trade and commerce, communication, transport, and other services. So from the tertiary activities, we have given more emphasis on tourism. So the next service related activity is called quaternary service related activity. So service sectors are generally very dynamic and very large in nature. So in our textbook, they have divided the service related activity into three main: tertiary, quaternary, and quinary. So tertiary means we can say lower order services. Quaternary and quinary means higher order services. So these services, quaternary and quinary, they need more intellectual people. People need more skill in order to give service related activities in quaternary and quinary activities. So what is meant by quaternary activities? All the information related service related activities are called quaternary. So it involves collection of information, production of information, and dissemination of information. So this involves examples: consultancy offering advices to the business and taxes, news channels, and papers. So these type of activities are called quaternary activities. So these are higher order services related activities as compared to tertiary services. Then quinary service related activities. So quinary service related activities, the highest order or order service related activities are called quinary service activities. So represent the highest level of service sector or the knowledge based service sector. So what is meant by quinary activity means represent the highest level of service sector or the knowledge based service sectors related activities are called quinary activities. So the characteristics of quinary activities are highly paid skilled workers such as senior business executives, higher government officials, and research scientists. So these people are included in quinary. So those people who are doing in quinary, they are highly intellectual, they have better knowledge, they have better information, and they have better experience, more experience as compared to tertiary and quaternary. So here their focus is on creation, rearrangement, and integration of new and existing idea and data. So those people who are engaged in quinary activities are also called golden color professions. Finally, what is meant by digital divide? So digital divide means when there is an uneven distribution of ICT, information and communication technology, it is called digital divide. It is unevenly distributed over the globe among the countries and within the countries between rural and urban. So that uneven distribution of information and communication related technologies over the space is called digital divide. Thank you.